Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live stream here on my stream here on YouTube at Sports Bonanza John, also on Kick tonight at Sports Kick John. We are set for the 100th edition of the Old Oaken Bucket, Indiana and Purdue. Indiana looking for an undefeated regular season and a berth in the Big Ten championship game with a win tonight over their arch rival Purdue Boilermakers, who are currently on a 9-game losing streak and looking to play spoiler to the Indiana Hoosiers tonight, as Indiana and Purdue will do battle for the Old Oaken Bucket in West Lafayette. Before we begin and preview this game tonight, let's pray if we would. Lord Jesus, thank you for this day, and thank you for doing everything you do for us, Lord. And please look over all these players and fans tonight, and please keep everyone safe, Lord, and do your will among all of us, Lord, as we ask and pray this in your name. Amen. Indiana, 11-0 on the season coming in, looking for an undefeated regular season and their first ever appearance in the Big Ten championship game. All they need is a win over their rivals from Purdue tonight. Purdue, on the other hand, coming in at 2-9, but this is basically their bowl game here, looking to knock off their arch rival Indiana Hoosiers tonight and looking to snap a 9-game losing streak in the process. Indiana led by quarterback Fernando Mendoza, who is now at the top of the Heisman Trophy list as far as projected Heisman Trophy winner, as he will lead the Indiana offense under head coach Kirk Cignetti in his second year, coming over from James Madison. 11-0 this year, 22-2 so far in his 2 years at Indiana. Meanwhile, Barry Odom in his first year at Purdue, rough first year, 2-9 on the season, but looks to get Purdue in the right direction. And looking at the crowd at Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette tonight, it might be a more pro-Indiana crowd than they're in a Purdue crowd, as Indiana has really traveled the fans up north to West Lafayette. It's a good thing they scheduled this game tonight instead of tomorrow, because there is some weather going to be coming through tomorrow that's going to hit West Lafayette pretty bad. So I think all the fans are glad this game is hitting tonight instead of tomorrow. Tomorrow could have been very interesting as far as weather if this game was played tomorrow. But we are just about set. And if you were with me on my live stream last night, on my college basketball live stream, I said I was going to be doing the Texas A&M game. I thought about it, and looking at this game, Indiana is going for an undefeated season, as is Texas A&M. I know both teams are playing their rivals, but I just decided this game would be the one I was going to do instead. I decided that earlier this afternoon, so I did end up going with Indiana and Purdue. Let's run down some of the college football scoreboard before we get ready for this one. Earlier today in the Egg Bowl, number 7 Ole Miss, a 38-19 win over Mississippi State. Ole Miss pretty much has punched their ticket to the college football playoff. And now the news around Ole Miss. What will happen with Lane Kiffin, their head coach? That announcement is expected tomorrow. Will he stay at Ole Miss? Will he go to LSU? It looks like Florida's no longer in play. So it's probably between staying at Ole Miss or heading to LSU, or maybe there's something else in the works. Also earlier today, number 13, Utah kept their playoff hopes alive as they beat Kansas 31-21, the final score. And a game in Atlanta, Georgia and Georgia Tech. Georgia beats Georgia Tech again, 16-9, that final score. And North Texas out of the American Athletic, 52-25 over Temple. North Texas punches their ticket to the American Championship game and keeping their college football playoff hopes alive. But we are set for this one at Ross-Ade Stadium. Hoosiers and Boilermakers on a chilly 24-degree evening in West Lafayette tonight. Purdue's going to get the football first as Indiana's going to kick it off, and we are underway in West Lafayette. And the ball taken at the 5-yard line across the 10, 15, 20, 25, and the return up to the 27-yard line. And that's where the Boilermakers will start their first possession of this game. Getting the start at quarterback tonight for Purdue is going to be Ryan Brown, the sophomore out of Clarkston, Michigan. 1,900, has passed for a little over 1,900 yards this year, 9 touchdowns, does also have 9 interceptions. As the Boilermakers have it 1st and 10 at the 27. It's a screen pass on 1st down from Brown, and the pass is caught for a very minimal gain. It was a low pass on the screen pass. It'll be 2nd down for Purdue. E.J. Horton, the recipient of that screen pass. 2nd down coming up for the Boilermakers. No gain on 1st down. Brown goes shotgun, takes the snap. Brown looking, Brown rolling to his right. Brown is going to throw it now and throws an interception on his 2nd pass of the game. The pass is picked off. Amari Farrell with the interception for the Hoosiers, and 2 plays into the game, the Boilermakers turn it over. So right away, we will see Fernando Mendoza and the Indiana offense after a very quick turnover for Purdue. Indiana will have it at the Purdue 47 for their opening drive of the game. Mendoza with the handoff on 1st down, and this is going to be stopped for no gain. Great job by the Purdue defense. It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up for Indiana. Numbers for Mendoza this year: passed for over 2,600 yards, 30 touchdowns. That leads FBS. Just 5 interceptions on the season. 2nd down and 10 for Indiana from the 47 of Purdue. Mendoza going to throw it this time down the field, and that's an almost interception for Purdue. Great defensive play by the Boilermakers there. That was Tony Grimes defending the play and almost getting the pick for the Boilers. 3rd and 10 for Indiana. Mendoza throwing right side, knocked away, incomplete. And the Purdue defense steps up, and a 3 and out for Indiana off the turnover. I think Indiana thought Purdue jumped off sides, as did I, but there is no flag. Great answer by the Purdue defense. Fourth down and 10 for Indiana as they're going to punt this football. McCarthy with the punt. And it bounces at the 10, takes an Indiana roll, and that's going to be down at the 3-yard line. So Purdue really backed up for their 2nd offensive series. So a Purdue turnover and an Indiana 3 and out is how this game begins tonight. Not even 2 minutes old. Purdue will get their 2nd possession of the football game in a scoreless tie. Be keeping an eye on that other big game of the night down in Austin between number 16 Texas and number 3 Texas A&M. Texas A&M, just like Indiana, also looking for an undefeated regular season and a berth in the SEC championship game. Texas A&M and Alabama control their fate in the SEC. Texas A&M and Alabama both win. They are in the SEC championship game. If one of those teams would lose, that would open the door for Georgia. If both those teams would lose, it would open the door for Ole Miss to get in the SEC championship game. That game is just underway in Austin, scoreless 3 minutes in. And then another top 25 matchup tonight as well, down in Tempe, number 25 Arizona and number 20 Arizona State. That game kicking off in just over an hour. And of course, on the college football docket tomorrow, the big one at noon Eastern in Ann Arbor. Number 15 Michigan hosting number 1 Ohio State. Michigan looking for their 5th win in a row over Ohio State. Ohio State looking to snap the losing streak and punch their ticket to the Big Ten title game. Number 5, previewing some other games tomorrow. Number 5, Texas Tech at West Virginia with a win there. Texas Tech advances to the Big 12 championship game. Number 12, Miami at number 22, Pittsburgh. This is big not only for Miami, but also for the ACC in general. Miami wins this game, they're probably solidly in the playoff. If Miami would lose this game, depending on what else happens, the ACC could be in... That's all. If Miami loses this game, the ACC could be in deep trouble as far as qualifying for the playoff, period. We'll preview some other games tomorrow at the next time out, but now Purdue will have it for the second time, but they are really backed up at their own 3-yard line. This is a handoff on first down and a good gain, about 6 yards on first down for Purdue, as that was Antonio Harris getting the carry. Second down coming up for the Boilers. Second down for Purdue. Actually, mark them down at the 8-yard line, so second down and 6. And here's another handoff. This is going to be for a loss on second down as it went right back to Antonio Harris. And a loss on the play, busting through that offensive line, was Stephen Daly for the Hoosiers, getting to Harris for a 2-yard loss. Third down and 8 for Purdue at the 6. Hoosiers showing blitz this time, and here they come. And it's going to be back in the end zone. Brown's going to have to get rid of it, throws it down the field, and has a man open at the 23-yard line for a Purdue first down. Michael Jackson III, the reception on 3rd and 8 for 17 yards and a Purdue first down. Drive stays alive for Purdue. They give themselves a little breathing room now, first down. And the end around and a little trickery fooled absolutely no one on the Indiana defense. That was Daly again in there defensively on the end around to E.J. Horton Jr., but it's a 5-yard loss on first down. I'm sorry, correction. That's a 10-yard loss on first down. Ball's at the 14. Second and a bunch. Second and 19 for Purdue. Those are plays like that you cannot afford against this Indiana team. Brown throwing, and the receiver didn't turn around, and it's incomplete. Brown was looking for E.J. Horton Jr., but Horton never turned around to look for the football, and it's third down and 19. They converted a third down on this earlier on this drive, but that was 3rd and 8. This time they need 19. Third and 19. Purdue back at their own 15. And it's just going to be a handoff and a very minimal gain of 2 yards. And the drive stalls after 1 first down. And the Boilermakers will have to punt from deep in their own territory. So a promising start to the drive for Purdue, but the failed play on the end around pushed Purdue back. And they have to punt this football. And here's the punt for Purdue. It is not a good one, and it takes an Indiana roll, and the punt will be downed at the 41-yard line of Purdue. So Indiana with a very short field. Punt of only 24 yards. And Indiana and Fernando Mendoza coming out for the second time with 9:50 to go in the opening quarter. No score, but excellent field position for the Hoosiers. Taking a look while we have a timeout in this game, turned over to this Texas A&M Texas game. Going to kind of do a double game here during the timeouts. Texas is punting the ball to Texas A&M. So Texas A&M will take possession. That game's 6 minutes old. Definitely keep you updated on that one as the night goes on. This Indiana team coming in at 11-0 on the season. They have not really had they've had a couple close games this year. They had the close call at Penn State a couple weeks ago. The late touchdown, they prevailed there. They had the 5-point win at Iowa on their second Big Ten game. But outside of that, those are the only 2 games this year for Indiana that have been decided by single digits. They're able to pull both of those out. Meanwhile, for Purdue, started out 2-0 with wins over Ball State and Southern Illinois, but have dropped their last 9 since then. Closest game they have had in that span was a 3-point home loss to Rutgers. They also lost by 5 at Michigan. So they've been right there in a couple games, but Coach Odom just has not been able to get the Boilers over the hump. And that has led to a 2-9 season and a winless Big Ten record so far. Fernando Mendoza and the Indiana offense coming back out for the second time. They start this drive at the Purdue 41-yard line. Very, very short field to work with for the Hoosiers this time. First down, Indiana at the 41-yard line. Mendoza will hand it off on first down, and this will be a gain of about 5 on first down inside the Purdue 40 to the 35. Second down 5 coming up for Indiana. Kaylon Black got the carry on that first down play. Second and 5. Mendoza takes the snap, throwing down the field. Pass is caught. That's Elijah Surratt with the reception and a first down for Indiana. First down, Indiana at the 17, and the short play here out of bounds, and the catch made by Black. Second down inside the Purdue 15. Gain of 6 to the 11-yard line, second and 4 for Indiana. Hand off to Black on second down. Black up the middle, and he is going to be brought down just shy of the end zone at the 1-yard line. It'll be first and goal, Hoosiers at the 1. First and goal at the 1. It goes right back to Black, and Black gets into the end zone for the Indiana touchdown from a yard out. Kaylon Black gets the Hoosiers on the board here in the first quarter, 6-0 with the extra point pending. Indiana takes advantage of the very short field off the short punt. Extra point attempt is up, and the kick is good, and Indiana leads it 7-0 with 8:03 remaining in the opening quarter. A 5-play, 40-yard drive that took 1:47 seconds. A 1-yard touchdown run for Kaylon Black, and the Hoosiers strike first tonight, leading 7-0. Cannot give Indiana a short field like that. Well, taking a look at this Texas A&M game, looks like Texas A&M is punting the football to Texas. That game's still scoreless midway through the first quarter. Again, keep you updated all night long on this Texas A&M Texas game. That rivalry renewed with Texas moving to the SEC. Rivalry had stopped for a long time when Texas A&M moved over to the SEC several years ago. But the two teams conference rivals once again. And previewing some other games for tomorrow. BYU, who is still in the college football playoff mix, they host UCF tomorrow. And Oregon, they look to solidify a berth in the college football playoff. They can still make the Big Ten title game with a little bit of help and a win, but Oregon does. It's not going to be an easy game for them tomorrow, as they will travel to Seattle to take on their former Pac-12 rival, the Washington Huskies. Told you about the Iron Bowl tomorrow night. Number 10, Alabama and Auburn. Alabama with the win is into the SEC championship game. Alabama loses this game, however, they will not be going to the SEC championship game, nor will they probably make it into the playoffs, since they're right there at that number 10 spot. They're right on the razor's edge right now as it is. Number 14, Vanderbilt looks for a 10-win season tomorrow. They're in Knoxville to take on number 19, Tennessee. Vanderbilt at number 14, they're still in play for the playoff. Back here it is 7-0 Indiana. And they are just about to kick it off, and Purdue about to get their third possession of this game. An interception and a punt on Purdue's first two drives. And the kickoff is taken at the 2. Across the 10, 15, 20-yard line. Lots of running room, 25, but the running room ends right here at the 27-yard line. And that's where the Boilermakers will start their third drive of the game. Ryan Brown leading the Purdue offense back out, now trailing for the first time in this game, 7-0. First down, Boilermakers at the 27. Brown looking, throws over the middle, pass complete. And now they say incomplete, intended for Michael Jackson III. The officials say it hits the ground, incomplete. And it did. Second down and 10 for Purdue. Football at the 27. Brown looking. Brown throws, incomplete. It'll be third down and 10. Threw in a little bit of double coverage there. Dangerous pass there. Corey Smith was the intended receiver, but there were two Indiana defenders there on the play. Third and 10 for Purdue. Midway through this first quarter. And pressure coming. Pan knocked away, incomplete. And Brown is just 2 for 7 to start this game. And another 3 and out for Purdue, and they have to punt. Or a 3 and out for Purdue, and they have to punt. Brown not reacting very well to the Indiana pressure they are bringing on defense. This is a much better punt this time. This is going to take a Purdue roll and be down right around the 30-yard line. So Indiana with a bigger field to work with this time for their third possession of the game, as this next drive will start at their own 30-yard line. As back comes Fernando Mendoza and the Indiana offense. First down, Indiana. From the 30. Looks like there was like there might have been a penalty called on Indiana. I didn't see a flag, but teams are marching backwards. So it looks like there might have been an Indiana penalty. Nope, they're still at the 30, so I'm not sure why everybody was marching backwards, but we're back good to go. Mendoza on first down to throw, right side, and an incomplete pass. It's a little bit behind the intended receiver, which was Omar Cooper Jr. He attempted a sliding catch, but couldn't quite come up with it. 2nd and 10. Second and 10 for Indiana. Football sitting right at the 30. Mendoza takes the snap. It's a handoff on 2nd down for not much, a couple of yards. Good job there by the Purdue defense as Roman Hemby got the carry, and it'll be 3rd down and about 8. Third and 8, Indiana at their own 32. 6:50 and counting remaining in this opening quarter. Purdue fans wanting one more defensive stand here. Mendoza on 3rd down, throws over the middle, incomplete. And it's a 3 and out for Indiana. Purdue defense with the stand this time. Mendoza couldn't find anyone open and then tried to throw it down the field, but that really had no chance. So an Indiana punt. Taken at the 19 and returnable across the 25, 29-yard line is where Jackson's brought down. 10-yard return. 7-0, Indiana, 6:28 to play in the opening quarter. Purdue kind of hanging around here right now. Defense has played pretty well on the first 3 drives. Indiana's scoring drive happened with the short field that they had to work with. Switching it back over to this Texas A&M Texas game. Texas A&M just got off a big run here by the quarterback. They have marched the ball down into Texas territory. That game is still scoreless, 4.5 left in the quarter. So Texas A&M has marched this down to the 40-yard line of Texas. Again, in this game here, Texas A&M advances to the SEC championship game with a win. All they have to do is win. They will also finish off a 12-0 undefeated regular season. A lot of people saying Texas is still alive for the playoff, but with 3 losses, obviously they have to win this game. They're at number 16, so they're kind of in that bubble area, but we'll see how that plays out. Of course, that's pending on the fact they beat Texas A&M. Looks like I got an injury timeout in that game, so again, we'll keep you updated on that one. 7-0 Indiana here. 6:28 to play in the opening quarter. Purdue just 13 total yards on their first 3 drives. Ryan Brown so far in this game for Purdue just 2 for 7 passing the football. And the Boilermakers will have it for already their 4th drive of this opening quarter. From the 28. Brown with a toss on first down. And a good gain across the 30 up to the 35-yard line. That's Antonio Harris with the run, and that's a good 7-yard pickup for Purdue on first down. Six minutes and counting remaining in this first quarter. 2nd down and 3 following the 7-yard gain. Brown. Indiana showing blitz again. And Brown, the handoff. It's Harris again, and he goes backwards. A big loss of 5 yards. That was Mikhail Kamara making the play defensively for Indiana, setting up a 3rd and long for Purdue. Loss of 5. It's 3rd down and 8. Back at the 30. Brown throwing on 3rd down 8, going down the field, and it is caught into Indiana territory. The pass right on the money. E.J. Horton Jr. with the 3rd down reception and a Purdue first down. On 3rd and 8, that pass went for 28 yards. And it's a screen pass on first down and a big gainer again. Another Purdue first down inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Michael Jackson, the 3rd on the screen pass, picks up 17. Purdue looking to march down the field and get right back in this game. Timeout called on defense by Indiana. This is their first timeout of the first half. As Purdue has just picked up 45 yards on the last 2 plays. Boilermakers a little fired up coming to the sideline there with that timeout called by Indiana. They're actually marking the football at the 24, so make that an 18-yard pickup on that last screen pass. First down and 10, Purdue at the Indiana 24. Here's another handoff on first down and another good gain inside the 20. Antonio Harris picks up 6 more and marches Purdue down into the red zone. Second down and 4. Football sitting at the 18-yard line. Harris in the backfield with Brown. Brown throws. Oh, behind his receiver. Incomplete. Intended for Jackson. That was a dangerous pass. 3rd down and 4 coming up. Oh, that was deflected too. It was a dangerous pass to begin with, and then it got deflected by Rolajah Hardy. 3rd down and 4. Football at the 18-yard line. Handoff on 3rd down. This is going to be a Boilermaker 1st down for Antonio Harris, down to the 12. On 3rd down and 4, Harris picks up 6, and it'll move the chains for Purdue. Eighth play of the drive coming up for Purdue. They have moved it up inside the 15-yard line, and here's another handoff to Harris. And Harris gets to the 11-yard line. 2nd down. This Indiana defense this year has been very good in the red zone. Opponents have had 17 red zone drives this year. And the Indiana defense has only allowed a touchdown on 5 of those 17 drives. 2nd and 8 at the 11. Brown rolling to his right, fakes the handoff. Brown throws. The pass is going to be complete and out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Gain of 5 to set up 3rd down and 3. Reception made by Nitro Tuggle, sophomore wide receiver out of Goshen, Indiana. Third down and 3. They're actually going to review this, and actually on the replay, I'm not sure Tuggle's foot wasn't out of bounds. There's the catch there, and the foot, yeah, I think that foot's on the end line, and I don't know that this catch is going to stand, because when Tuggle makes the catch along the sideline, it looks like his foot hits out of bounds. So this play, the previous catch, is under review. Here's an overhead look from the other side. Kind of hard to tell from there. Officials are still looking at this. There's the catch for Tuggle, but then that right foot sure looks like it hits on the sideline. And we're about to get the call now. And they're calling it a catch. So I thought for sure that right foot hit the end line, but the catch is upheld. So gains up a 6-yard gain, 3rd down and 2. Coming up for Purdue. We're under 2 minutes here in the first quarter. Football sitting just shy of the 5-yard line. Down to 5 on the play clock. They do get the snap off, and it's a running play up the middle, and going nowhere is Antonio Harris on 3rd and 2. Great stand by the Indiana defense. And now what will Barry Odom do on 4th and 2? Do you take the points or do you figure you're 2-9 and they are going to bring on the field goal team? This is probably the correct call. Just make sure you get yourself some points out of this. It's a very good drive for Purdue. You don't want to come up empty. Field goal attempt of 24 yards, and the kick is up and right through the uprights, and Purdue gets on the board with a 35 or 24-yard field goal to make it a 7-3 game with 46 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Drive for the Boilermakers, an 11-play, 67-yard drive, took 5 minutes, 42 seconds. Ends up in a 24-yard field goal for Spencer Porath. And it's a 7-3 lead for Indiana, 46 seconds remaining in the first quarter. So we're about to see Indiana get the ball back on offense. So Purdue getting some points there, and their sideline is getting active. Trying to get the Purdue fans back. And it was a nice little heads up for Purdue to come out of that with some points. Yes, you wanted a touchdown, but it's still early enough in the game. Just take the field goal, take your points. Here's the kickoff. And it goes out of bounds, shy of the end zone. So Indiana will have excellent starting field position with the out of bounds kickoff. So Indiana will get it at the 35. So back comes Mendoza and that Indiana offense. This is a handoff on first down, and this will be a gain of about 5 up to the 40-yard line. Indiana will not have to run another play in this first quarter if they don't want to. Game clock is 3 seconds ahead of the play clock. They do break the huddle with 20 seconds left, so maybe they will try to get one last play off here in the first quarter. Second and 5 at the 40. They do snap it with 8 seconds left. Mendoza throwing, and the pass almost intercepted. That pass nearly picked off. Mendoza lucky it wasn't. Smiley Bradford with the near interception for Purdue. Third down and 5 for Indiana. Ooh, Bradford frustrated there, knows he probably should have came up with that interception. Third and 5. Mendoza throws. That's going to be a first down up to the 46-yard line. And that play will take us to the end of the first quarter. On 3rd and 5, it was a pass of 6 yards to Omar Cooper Jr. Quarter in the books in the 100th edition of the Old Oaken Bucket. Indiana leads Purdue 7-3. And Indiana on the drive when the second quarter begins. And while we're in a quarter break here, back to this Texas A&M game, which is also in a commercial. That game is actually also at the quarter break. 0-0 Texas and Texas A&M after one in that one. Taking a look at the stats after one quarter in this one. Purdue has actually the yardage advantage here, 80-54 for the Hoosiers. Purdue picked up 4 first downs in that first quarter to Indiana's 3. A penalty-free first quarter and a big time of possession advantage for Purdue, 10.5 minutes to Indiana's 4.5 minutes. Individual numbers in that first quarter. Ryan Brown for Purdue ended up 5 for 11 for 70 yards. Did throw that interception on the second play of the game. Antonio Harris for Purdue, leading rusher. He rushed 8 times for 17 yards in that first quarter. Leading receiver for Purdue in that quarter, 2 catches for 36 yards for Michael Jackson III. E.J. Horton Jr. had 2 catches for 28 yards, and Nitro Tuggle had the 1 catch for 6 yards. For Indiana, Mendoza in that first quarter, just 3 for 8 for 30 yards. Elijah Surratt, 2 of those catches for 24 yards. Omar Cooper Jr., 1 reception for 6 yards. He just had that 6-yard third down reception to end the first quarter. Running the football, Kalon Black rushed 4 times for 21 yards. Roman Hemby twice for 3 yards. And that's how we stand after the first quarter, with Indiana leading Purdue 7-3. Indiana will have a 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line when the second quarter gets underway. On a very, very cold evening in West Lafayette, Indiana. "24 degrees at kickoff. A snowy day in store for Northern Indiana tomorrow. As we are just about set to resume out of the quarter break. Mendoza back out, leading the Indiana offense. It's 1st down and 10 at the 46-yard line as we begin quarter number 2. First down, Indiana at the 46. Mendoza, it's a handoff on 1st down and a gain of 5 more into Purdue territory. Roman Hemby picks up 5 yards there on 1st down. Second down and 5, Indiana. Football at the Purdue 49. Another handoff on 2nd down. And a gain of 4 more for Hemby. He's going to be a yard shy of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd and short for Indiana. Third down, Hoosiers need a yard. They are at the Purdue 45. Hemby gets the 3rd down carry and gets the 1st down on 3rd and 1. Hemby picks up 6 inside the Purdue 40 and move the sticks for the Hoosiers. Three straight carries here to open the second quarter for Roman Hemby. First down at the 39. And we have our first penalty of the game. This is going to be a false start on Indiana. So it takes until the 13-13 mark of the second quarter for us to get our first penalty of the evening. Was Pat Coogan, the lineman that jumped there for Indiana. So 1st and 15, back at the 44. Here's another handoff. This is Hemby again, and Hemby with a big gainer inside the 30, out of bounds, right at the first down marker. And he's going to have the first down on a 16-yard gain for Hemby, moving the ball inside the Purdue 30. On 1st and 15, Roman Hemby picks up 16 on the run. Hemby goes to the sideline for a breather on this 1st and 10 play. Mendoza throws to the sideline, pass is caught and out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Pass is good for 5 yards. First reception of the game for the wide receiver, Charlie Becker. 2nd and 5 at the 23. 9th play of the drive for Indiana. Mendoza with the handoff. This will be a first down inside the 15. Tripped up at the 11-yard line. It looked like Kalon Black might break that to the end zone, but just got tripped up at the 11-yard line. Nonetheless, it's good for 12 and an Indiana first down. First down, Indiana. They are officially marking it down at the 12. And another handoff to Black, and Black up to the 6-yard line, bringing up 2nd down and 4 for Indiana. Long drive here for the Hoosiers. The 11th play of the drive. 2nd down and 5, officially at the 7. Mendoza takes the snap. Mendoza will keep it. Mendoza into the end zone untouched for the Indiana touchdown. Mendoza kept it himself and takes it 7 yards for the touchdown and makes it a 13-3 lead for the Hoosiers. Mendoza design quarterback run, and he goes untouched to the end zone. A very good drive that ends in a touchdown for the Hoosiers. Extra point is good. And the Hoosiers take a 14-3 lead over Purdue with 10:29 remaining in the second quarter. 11-play, 65-yard drive took 5 minutes, 17 seconds, resulting in a 7-yard touchdown run for the quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. And now a 14-3 Indiana lead over Purdue. My update on that Texas A&M Texas game. Texas has kicked a field goal. So they lead Texas A&M 3-0 in the second quarter. Texas A&M with the football here. Texas A&M has a 2nd down and 5 at their own 42. So keep you updated there on that one. Again. And also, we had an NFL game today up in Philadelphia between the Bears and the Eagles, and the Bears picked up a 24-15 win over the Eagles to move the Bears to 9-3 now. They remain a half game ahead of Green Bay for first place in the NFC North. Eagles fall to 8-4. Their division lead over Dallas down to a game and a half after the Cowboys win over the Chiefs yesterday. So Indiana set to kick it back off to Purdue. $10:29 remaining in the second quarter. Despite being down 11 points, that Purdue sideline still active. And here's the kickoff. A short kick taken at the 12, across the 20, 25-yard line, and dropped at the 27, 28-yard line is Jackson. And now the Purdue offense will come back out onto the field. First down, Purdue at the 27. Brown fakes the handoff. Now Brown rolling to his right, throws, and the pass is complete. That's going to be a Purdue first down. Malachi Thomas with the reception and an 11-yard gain and a Purdue first down. First down. Football sitting just shy of the 38. Brown hands it off to Thomas. And Malachi Thomas stopped after a 3-yard gain on first down. Second and 7. Football sitting just shy of the 40. 9 minutes and counting remaining in the second quarter. Brown, screen pass on second down and a loss on the play of 5 yards. Amari Farrell with the tackle behind the line of scrimmage for Indiana. It'll be 3rd down and 12 on the 4-yard loss. Third and 12 for Purdue. Back at the 35. Brown on 3rd and 12. Brown in trouble, gets out of it. Now rolling, still on his feet. Indiana still can't bring him down. Brown throws down the field, incomplete. I have no idea how Brown did not get sacked there, but it ends up an incomplete pass, and Purdue's going to have to punt. So Indiana's going to get the football back. And there's the punt. Indiana will get it back, up 14-3. So 14-3 Indiana, and they have the football back nearly midway through the second quarter. As I've been doing during a timeout here, switch over to Texas A&M to see what's going on here, which is a commercial. Still 3-0 Texas. Texas A&M is driving. They are at the Texas 13-yard line. So back comes Indiana on offense following this TV timeout. They have held, for the Indiana defense, has held Purdue to 8 yards here in the second quarter. Purdue, against a team like Indiana, cannot afford to fall any further behind than what they are right now. So this is a big, big series in this game. Mendoza so far just 4 for 9 for 36 yards passing the football. And they will start this next drive as they play for the Old Oaken Bucket for the 100th time. These two teams. Hoosiers have it at their own 19, 1st down and 10. Mendoza takes the 1st down snap and hands it off. And this is a big gain on 1st down. Across the 35 and finally down at the 37, Roman Hemby picks up 18 yards on a 1st down run for Indiana. Hemby up to 51 yards on 7 carries. First down at the 37. And it goes right back to him and brought down in the backfield and dropped for a loss of 4. See who that was for Purdue that got right through that Indiana defensive line. That was Monty Powell, the senior out of Columbus, Ohio, making the big defensive stand here for Purdue. -4 on first down. Second and 14. Back at the 33. Mendoza takes the snap. Mendoza throwing deep down the field. Nobody home. Incomplete as it went to the sideline. Third down. Oh, looked like the receiver slipped on the route. That's why there was nobody in the area. That was not a catchable ball anyway. That was way out of bounds. Third and 14, back at the 33. Hoosiers 2 for 4 on third down so far tonight. Mendoza looking, passes caught, but that's not going to be anywhere close to a first down up near the original line of scrimmage at the 38-yard line. Reception for Kalon Black, fourth down, and what I assume is going to be an Indiana punt. So Indiana to punt this ball. Good stand by the Purdue defense after that opening 18-yard run. They prevent anything further. A good punt. Fair catch called and made at the 15-yard line by Jackson. And with 5:47 to play in the second quarter, Purdue will start this next drive inside their 20. The first time these two teams met for the Old Oaken Bucket was back in 1925. 15,000 fans at the first ever game to see a game that ended 0-0. In the 100th edition of this one, Indiana leads 14-3. Purdue back on offense at the 15-yard line. Running play on first down. This is going to be another loss on a running play, a loss of 2 yards. Again, the Indiana defense steps up, and a 2-yard loss for Antonio Harris. Second down and 12 for Purdue. Football at their own 13-yard line as we near 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Brown throwing left side, has a man, incomplete. He had Nitro Tuggle over there, but he was also covered well. D'Angelo Pons was there defensively for Indiana. Third down and 12 for Purdue. Back at their own 13-yard line. Purdue 3 for 7 so far on third downs tonight. It's a screen pass on third down. I don't know what in the world kind of play call that was, but it's a 3-yard loss. On third and 12, Indiana brings an all-out blitz, and you call a screen pass. Ace Ciangoli in on the stop, and a loss of 3 for Indiana. And here's the punt. And another bad one. And it's going to be downed at the 41-yard line of Purdue. So for the second time, Indiana starts a drive inside the Purdue 45. And with 4:25 to go in the second quarter, Hoosiers have outstanding field position again. Over to this Texas A&M game during this timeout. Texas A&M has kicked a field goal, and it appears they just got the ball back. They did. This game is 3-3 with 5:11 to go in the second quarter. It was a big punt return for Texas A&M. They're starting this next drive at the Texas 43-yard line. So it has been all Indiana here in the second quarter in this one. They have held Purdue to 3 yards of offense in the second quarter, has the Indiana defense. Mendoza, despite a 14-3 lead for Indiana, not having a stellar first half, just 5 for 11 for 42 yards. But Indiana sure getting it done in the running game in this first half, as they have rushed for 91 yards, led by Roman Hemby's 48 on 8 carries. Kalon Black's 36 yards on 6 carries. And Indiana gets it back for the second time, starting a drive in Purdue territory. Last one resulted in the first touchdown of the game. This drive will start at the Purdue 41. Big crowd at Ross-Ade Stadium for this annual rivalry between the Hoosiers and the Boilermakers. I'm sorry, I beg your pardon, it's the 36-yard line, not the 41-yard line that Indiana's starting this drive on. Mendoza, nowhere to go. Now will take it himself and has a lot of running room. 25, 20, 16-yard line before he's finally brought down. A gain of 20 and an Indiana first down. As on one play, they are into the red zone. Mendoza has a 7-yard touchdown run in this game. He just ran for 20 there, and now a carry and an Indiana touchdown, untouched to the end zone. And on 2 plays, Indiana gets in the end zone for the 3rd time in the first half. This is Kalon Black with the touchdown. It's 20-3 with the extra point pending. Extra point attempt on the way, up and good. And it is 21-3 Hoosiers with 3:40 to play in quarter number 2. This took all of 2 plays. Again, Indiana taking advantage of the short field off the short punt. 2 plays, 36 yards, 45 seconds. A 16-yard touchdown run for Kalon Black. And a lead for Indiana of 21-3. They're at the 2-minute timeout in Austin. Texas A&M and Texas tied at 3. Aggies have the football at the 30-yard line of Texas. But Purdue, somehow, some way, on this drive, figured this has to be a must-score drive right here for Purdue to keep from letting the game get any further away than it is right now. Here's the kickoff. Taken at the 2. Across the 10, 15, 20-yard line, and up to across the 25 to the 26, maybe the 27-yard line. Kickoff return for Jackson, and Purdue will start at the 27. Kurt Signetti looking a little bit calmer on that Indiana sideline, but not much. First down, Purdue at the 26. And now Brown has to call a timeout before this first down play. So Purdue uses their first timeout of the first half. Both teams with 2 remaining. I don't know if that was some miscommunication on the play getting brought in or what. Excuse me. Brown 8 of 16 for 73 yards throwing the football here in the first half for Purdue. Three rushing touchdowns for the Hoosiers in the first half. 2 of those for Kalon Black. Mendoza has the other. First down, Purdue. And nowhere to go here on first down either. Indiana defense really stepping up here as Malachi Thomas, who got that carry, had nowhere to go. Was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. It's 2nd and 10. Brown takes the snap on 2nd and 10. Brown looking. Brown throws over the middle. Pass is incomplete. Pass was a little low. It was intended for Nitro Tuggle. Tuggle got his hands on it. That ball did hit the ground. It's 3rd down and 10. Clock is stopped with 2:49 to play in the second quarter. Brown on 3rd and 10 takes the snap. Brown looking. Brown throws over the middle to a wide open receiver. That's Tuggle. And he's got a Purdue first down at the 48-yard line. Brown spotted the open receiver Tuggle, and Purdue moves the sticks for a first down. First down, throwing right side, incomplete. That pass was a little high. Second down and 10. Clock stopped at 2:19. E.J. Horton Jr., the intended receiver on that one. Second and 10. For Purdue at their own 48. Brown. Throwing down the field, tipped and incomplete. Tuggle couldn't quite come up with it, and then it was nearly intercepted. After Tuggle couldn't get his arms on it, it was nearly picked off by the Indiana defender on the ricochet. Third down. Purdue 4 for 9 on third down conversions. They need 10 here. It's a handoff on 3rd and 10, and this is only going to go for a couple of yards. And this will take us down to the 2-minute timeout. Be 4th down and about 8 for Purdue following the 2-minute timeout. You're already down 21-3. You've marched the football just over midfield. You're 2-9. What do you have to lose to go for it at this point? Purdue's had some big plays in this first half. We'll see what Barry Odom elects to do on 4th down and 8. You know, Texas A&M and Texas A&M has a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Switching over to this game as we're down to a minute 2 in the first half. While we have the 2-minute timeout break in West Lafayette. Texas calls a timeout here. So what will Purdue do here on 4th and 8 from the Indiana 49? Again, I'm not sure what you have to lose at this point. You're already down 21-3. You're 2-9. Roll the dice. I mean, I could understand early in the first quarter them kicking the field goal to get on the board, but here, different situation now. You're down 18 points. So following the 2-minute timeout, here comes a decision for Barry Odom. Purdue does have the punt team out, so they're just going to try to punt Indiana deep. Well, it's going to be down at the 17-yard line, so a punt of 32 yards. And the Hoosiers up 21-3 with 2 timeouts will start from the 17. Do want to mention, folks, at halftime, I'm going to briefly pause the live stream for about 15 minutes. Be back on right before the second half begins, run down some first half stats, and get you ready for half number 2 of this Old Oaken Bucket game between Indiana and Purdue. Hoosiers have 2 timeouts in a minute 51. They are at their own 17. Mendoza rolling to his left on first down, and Mendoza will throw and incomplete. Off the hands of his intended receiver, Charlie Becker. Second down and 10. Mendoza now just 5 for 12 in the first half. It's been the run game that's done most of the damage for the Hoosiers, as the running game's gotten all 3 touchdowns tonight. And here's a run up the middle and a huge hole and a big gainer, and there goes. And this is going to be inside the 20-10. This is going to be an 83-yard touchdown. 83-yard touchdown to the house goes Roman Hemby, and the Hoosiers have busted this thing open here at the end of the first half. The 4th rushing touchdown of the first half for Indiana. As they have now rushed for 209 yards in the first half. And a commanding 28-3 lead with the extra point. Boy, Roman Hemby went officially 82 yards and basically untouched for all 82. And an update on that game in Austin, Texas A&M has punched it in the end zone. So Texas A&M has taken a 10-3 lead on Texas nearing the end of the first half in that game. So the minute 33 here in the first half, the Hoosiers get in the end zone for the 4th time. And the Hoosiers are going to receive the football to start the second half. Kickoff taken at the 3, across the 10, 15, 20-yard line. And Jackson is dropped around the 25, and that's where Purdue will start this next drive. With a minute 26 and 2 timeouts. First down, Purdue. From the 25. Brown. It's a running play on first down. Again, nothing doing, and another loss on a running play as Antonio Harris loses 2 yards. Indiana calls their second timeout on defense here. They want to get the ball back again. Indiana has put up 251 yards in the first half. $209 on the ground. Second down for the Boilermakers and 11. At the 24. Brown takes the shotgun snap. Brown, it's a screen pass left side. And it's a gain up to the 30-yard line on the screen pass to Antonio Harris. That goes for 6. And Indiana will use their final timeout with 1:08 to play in the first half. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for Purdue from the 30. Purdue will need 5 on this 3rd down play. Third down and 5 at the 30. And it's a running play. This will be a Purdue first down as Harris gets up to the 40-yard line, a gain of 10 on 3rd down. Now Purdue has 2 timeouts on offense. Clock will stop here to move the chain since we're under 2 minutes. First down, Brown. Brown looking, throws over the middle, pass complete. That's going to go up to the 48-yard line, gain of 8. Reception for Antonio Harris, clock running. And now it's not, as Purdue will stop it and use their second timeout. So Purdue 1 timeout remaining. Second and 2. Football sitting at the 47. Brown. Well, he's got room to run this, but he's going to throw it instead, and it's dropped. He had an open receiver, and it's incomplete. Oh, that could have been a big gainer for Purdue. Jesse Watson was the intended receiver. 3rd down and 2. Oh, man. That went right through the arms of Watson. Was that deflected? It may have been slightly deflected, but still, that's a catch you got to make. 3rd down and 2. 41 seconds. And here's a run on 3rd down. It will be a first down for Purdue. Clock, or is it? Actually, they're marking him short, and the clock's running. 4th and 1. Clock is running here, 20 seconds. Purdue just going to let this run out. with 1 timeout left. Down to 8 seconds. And now with 2 seconds left, Purdue uses their final timeout. So both teams out of timeout. So it looks like they're just going to go to a throw to the end zone here. It's about all you got with 2 seconds. Indiana with a win tonight, and they're well on their way. Will clinch a berth in the Big Ten championship game. Ohio State with a win over Michigan can also punch their ticket to the Big Ten title game. If Ohio State falters at Michigan tomorrow, that would send Michigan to the Big Ten championship game. But if Oregon would beat Washington and Ohio State would lose, that would send Oregon to the Big Ten title game. They are reviewing something here. They might be reviewing the spot. I thought it was a first down. Oh, no, his knee did hit at the 48-yard line, and the first down marker's at the 49. So that looked like that was the correct call. Yeah, that football did not make the 49-yard line when his knee hit. So in real time, I thought he got it, but on the replay, he did not. He gets the 49-yard line for the first down, knee down at the 48, and the ball is not quite to the 49. If anything, they may move the ball up about a half yard at best. But I still don't think it's going to be a first down. So there is a review for the spot. Which looks pretty close. Knee down at the 48, football's at about the 48 and a half, maybe. But the first down line is the 49. Kirk Cignetti getting an explanation, as they are still reviewing this. Kirk Cignetti's not happy there on the Indiana sideline with something. They actually have called this a first down and have put the game clock back to 38 seconds and given Purdue their timeout back. Wow. What a turn of events that is. There is no way that ball made the 49-yard line, but that is where they have placed the football. Now they run the clock. Brown. Pass complete into Indiana territory. This will be a gain of 9 yards. Up to the 42. Reception for E.J. Horton Jr. Purdue saving that last time out, down to 16 seconds. Brown takes the shotgun snap. Brown looking. Brown throws. Left side caught. Out of bounds. Stopping the clock with 10 seconds. Jesse Watson with the reception. Spencer Porath getting loose to see, just in case he gets a field goal chance here at the end of the half. Brown looking, throwing, incomplete to the sideline now with 4 seconds. This would be a long field goal. You'd be looking about a 54-yard attempt. They are bringing on Porath for a field goal attempt of 54 yards to get Purdue 3 more points before the half. Kick is away, and the kick is not even close, as it is off to the right. And that's how this first half comes to a close. A first half that sees Indiana scores 4 touchdowns on the ground, and they have a commanding 28-3 lead at intermission over Purdue. Indiana will receive the football to start the second half, and Indiana 30 minutes away from a 12-0 regular season and a berth in the Big Ten championship game. (28-3) at the half. The number 2 Indiana Hoosiers leading Purdue in the old Oaken Bucket game. Again, we're going to have a brief pause on the live stream. Going to be back with you here in about 15 minutes or so to run down some first half stats and get you ready for the second half, as the Hoosiers 30 minutes away from a berth in the Big Ten championship game. They lead at 28-3. Brief pause.